Did you know that a single mistake during breakfast could be quietly weakening the very muscles and arteries responsible for your manhood? That's right, if you're over 60 and you've been waking up with weaker erections, sluggish energy or numbness down there, the problem might not be your age, it might be your morning plate. Most men have no idea that their breakfast choices are either fueling blood flow to the groin or slowly shutting it down, and what's worse, many are skipping the one food that can begin reversing it all. I'm Dr. Mohit Khera, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience in urology and age-related performance decline. I've treated thousands of men across the country who thought their intimacy was fading simply because they were getting older. What we discovered was much more hopeful. Here's the truth: your body wants to restore circulation to your lower body, but only if you give it the right tools, and those tools are not found in a pill or a prescription. They're found in 5 very specific, very simple morning foods you already recognize but probably never knew how to use to target male circulation. In this video I'm going to show you exactly how to use them. You'll learn how 5 easy ingredients can boost blood flow down there, strengthen pelvic muscle tissue and increase confidence without side effects. And stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal one odd combination that's helping men feel results in less than a week. Let's get started. Before we dive in, if you're serious about reclaiming your vitality and improving circulation where it matters most, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss another tip designed specifically for men over 60. And if this video speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0. I read every response and your feedback helps me create better content tailored to your needs. Alright, let's begin with the first food, one that's probably already in your fridge but you may have been overlooking its full potential for years. It's simple, it's familiar, and when eaten at the right time it can jumpstart blood flow and muscle repair in the area that matters most. I'm talking about whole eggs, nature's most complete source of nourishment for restoring circulation down there after 60. 1 whole eggs, nature's circulation starter. I've lost count of how many men over 60 have sat across from me frustrated, embarrassed and confused about why things down there just aren't the same anymore, and almost every time when I ask about their diet they shrug and say something like, "Doctor, I just grabbed some coffee in the morning, maybe a slice of toast if I remember." What they don't realize is that their body, especially at this age, is starving for very specific nutrients the moment they wake up, and one of the most powerful sources of those nutrients is something they've had in their fridge their whole life: whole eggs. I know eggs have gotten a bad rap in the past: cholesterol concerns, old science, outdated fears. But let me be clear, if you're a man over 60 and you're not eating whole eggs regularly, you're missing out on one of the most effective natural tools for restoring blood flow and strength in the lower body. The secret is in the yolk. That golden center is rich in vitamin D, B12, choline and leucine, a powerful amino acid that triggers muscle repair, including the deep, often ignored muscles in the pelvic floor. These are the same muscles that support erections, control urinary flow and keep you stable and balanced as you move through your day. When blood circulation decreases with age, these muscles are among the first to suffer, but when you fuel them properly, especially first thing in the morning, your body responds. You feel more stable, you notice fewer cramps or numbness, and yes, you start to feel more confident in moments of intimacy, not because of a pill but because your blood is flowing again. I remember one patient, Richard, 67 years old. He told me he hadn't had morning wood in over 2 years. Within 4 weeks of changing his breakfast to include 2 whole eggs every morning, boiled, nothing fancy, he called me with a voice full of disbelief. "Doc," he said, "I woke up like I was 40 again." That's the power of feeding your body what it truly needs at the right time. So tomorrow morning, instead of reaching for just coffee or skipping breakfast altogether, try giving your body something it can actually use. 2 whole eggs, that's it. Not egg whites, not egg substitutes, the real thing, yolk and all. Now if you're wondering what to pair those eggs with to supercharge the effect, the next food is something most men never think of for circulation, but it works like a natural blood flow booster, especially down there. Let me show you. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, drop a number 1 in the comments so I know you're with me and taking action. Now let's move on to the next powerful food that could make all the difference. 2 beets, the blood flow booster. The first time I recommended beets to a patient for improving circulation down there, he looked at me like I'd lost my mind. "Beets," he said, "aren't those just salad decorations?" I smiled because I knew what he didn't. Beets are one of nature's most powerful natural blood flow enhancers, and for men over 60 struggling with weak erections, cold feet or that sluggish feeling below the waist, they can be an absolute game changer. What makes beets so special is their natural nitrate content. When consumed, these nitrates convert into nitric oxide in your body. Now, nitric oxide is the very compound responsible for relaxing and expanding your blood vessels, which is critical for healthy circulation. And here's the key: this isn't just about heart health, it directly affects the arteries that lead to your groin, your pelvic region, and yes, your penis. I had a patient named Charles, 72 years old. He'd been relying on ED medication for years, never considering that food could be part of the solution. After just 2 weeks of incorporating roasted beets into his breakfast, small portions, nothing crazy, he noticed something he hadn't felt in months: warmth in his legs and groin, more sensation, more responsiveness. Doc, he told me, it's like something switched back on. Beets also help oxygenate your blood, reduce inflammation, and improve stamina, not just for intimacy but for walking, climbing stairs, and moving with confidence. They work quietly, restoring flow to areas that have been neglected for far too long. You don't need a giant bowl. Even a small serving a few times a week is enough to create noticeable changes over time, and if the taste puts you off, blending them into a smoothie with berries and a touch of lemon works beautifully. Your body won't care how it's delivered, it just wants that nitric oxide. What I love most about beets is how accessible they are. No prescription, no side effects, just real, nutrient-dense fuel that tells your blood vessels it's time to open up again. You're not just eating a vegetable, you're reclaiming your circulation, your function, and your independence. But if you're serious about keeping those arteries open and protecting your flow long term, then the next food is non-negotiable. It's warm, comforting, and might just be the most powerful breakfast combination you've never tried. Let's keep going. 3 Oats with chia seeds, the artery cleanser. Every time I see an older man in my office complaining about poor circulation, weak erections, or that constant heaviness in the lower body, I don't just ask about his medications, I ask about his breakfast, and more often than not it's either non-existent or loaded with sugar and empty carbs. What I recommend instead might seem too simple to matter, but believe me, a warm bowl of oats topped with chia seeds has transformed more lives than you'd think. Oats on their own are a powerful ally for aging arteries. They're packed with a special fiber called beta-glucan, which doesn't just help lower cholesterol, it actually helps clean out the walls of your blood vessels. This allows more oxygen-rich blood to reach critical areas, including your pelvis and groin. For men over 60, that kind of circulation support isn't just helpful, it's essential. Now add chia seeds to the mix and something incredible happens. These tiny seeds are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, and potassium, nutrients that help your blood vessels relax, reduce inflammation, and allow for smoother, more powerful blood flow. This combination isn't just good for your heart, it directly impacts your ability to get and maintain a healthy erection. I remember one gentleman, Henry, who told me he felt his body had started shutting down after retirement, low energy, trouble walking upstairs, intimacy fading. I got him to swap his sugary cereal for oats with chia seeds, blueberries, and a touch of cinnamon. Within 2 weeks his legs felt lighter. Within a month he was sleeping better and waking up more energized with benefits he noticed both in and out of the bedroom. Doc, I didn't think a bowl of oats could do that, he said with a laugh, but here's the truth: what you eat in the morning sets the tone for your blood flow all day long, and this simple combination, eaten warm and mindfully, tells your arteries it's safe to open up, it's time to nourish the muscles and nerves that keep you feeling like a man. Now, if you're ready to take your circulation support to the next level, there's one fruit that acts almost like natural Viagra but without the side effects. Most men overlook it, but when eaten at the right time it works fast. Let me show you what it is. For watermelon, the bedroom fruit. I still remember the look on my patient Bill's face when I told him to start eating watermelon in the morning. He laughed and said, "Doc, I thought that was just a summertime snack." But what he didn't know, and what most men don't, is that watermelon is one of nature's most underrated tools for restoring blood flow, especially in the places where it counts the most. Watermelon is packed with an amino acid called citrulline. When it enters your body it converts into l'arginine, which then boosts nitric oxide, the very same compound that opens up your blood vessels and allows more blood to flow to your groin. It's the same biological pathway used by popular ED medications, but this time you're fueling it with food instead of pharmaceuticals, and it works fast. I've had patients tell me they started noticing improved sensitivity and stronger morning erections within just a week of adding watermelon to their routine. There's something powerful about letting your body do what it was designed to do. No synthetic pills, no side effects, just pure circulation support straight from your breakfast plate. Bill called me 2 weeks later and said, "I don't know if it's the watermelon or the fact that I'm finally eating breakfast, but something's definitely waking up down there." We both laughed, but the truth is he wasn't imagining it. The catrulin was doing its job, opening blood vessels and giving his lower body a new sense of vitality. For best results, watermelon should be eaten on an empty stomach or shortly before your main breakfast. A couple slices are all you need, and here's a tip: don't throw away the white rind. That part contains the highest concentration of citrulline. You can blend it into a smoothie or just chew through it gently. It may not be sweet, but your circulation will thank you. If you've been looking for a natural way to feel more alive and energized below the belt, watermelon may be one of the easiest, most refreshing tools you've been missing. But if you really want to Stabilize your morning energy, restore balance and prep your entire lower body for the day ahead. Then you won't want to skip the next food. It's warm, earthy, and when combined with one simple mineral it becomes one of the most powerful circulation supporting breakfasts I recommend. Let's keep going. 5. Steamed sweet potato with Celtic salt, the circulation stabilizer. Of all the recommendations I've given over the years, this is the one that gets the most surprised reactions. Sweet potatoes, they ask for circulation, but once you understand how your body works, in the first few minutes after waking up it starts to make perfect sense. Your muscles, including the ones in your legs, pelvis, and yes, even your penis, are running on empty after hours without food. Your blood vessels need minerals, your muscles need glycogen, and your nervous system needs balance. A simple half of a warm steamed sweet potato sprinkled with just a pinch of Celtic sea salt can be the morning stabilizer your entire lower body has been missing. Sweet potatoes are packed with complex carbohydrates that don't spike your blood sugar but instead give your muscles the clean energy they need to function smoothly. And when you add Celtic sea salt, an unrefined salt rich in over 80 essential minerals, you're giving your body the tools it needs to hold on to hydration, regulate nerve impulses, and maintain healthy blood pressure without the crash. These minerals help with muscle contraction, circulation, and even nerve sensitivity, which can fade with age if we're not careful. I had a patient named Thomas, 70 years old, who told me he'd been waking up with heavy, numb legs and a dull ache in his groin. He had tried stretching, massage, even prescription medications. Nothing seemed to work. I suggested a small change before his regular breakfast. Try half a steamed sweet potato with a glass of warm water and a touch of mineral salt. It sounded too simple to him, but 3 days later he called and said, "Doc, I don't know what's happening, but my legs feel lighter and I'm not reaching for the nightstand just to stand up." There's something grounding about starting your day with real food, something your body recognizes, something that doesn't just treat symptoms but actually restores balance from the inside out. Sweet potatoes may seem humble, but when eaten this way they work quietly and powerfully to restore circulation, balance minerals, and energize every step you take. Now that you've learned the 5 foods that can help you restore blood flow, strength, and energy down there's one last thing we need to cover, because knowledge without action changes nothing. So let's talk about exactly what you need to do starting today to turn these foods into real results you can feel. 6. What you need to do starting today. If you've made it this far, that already tells me something important. You care. You're not just coasting through this phase of life, letting your body do whatever it wants. You're still in the fight, and the good news is now you've got tools, but tools mean nothing if they stay in the drawer. The real change begins the moment you decide to take action today, not tomorrow. Start small tomorrow morning. Commit to eating one of the 5 foods we talked about. Maybe it's 2 eggs with the yolks, maybe it's a warm bowl of oats with chia seeds and cinnamon. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to happen, because what you eat in the first hour after waking is one of the most powerful choices you can make for your circulation, your confidence, and your independence. Don't skip breakfast anymore. Don't wait until you're hungry or tired or already behind for the day. Give your body what it needs while it's asking for help. This is when your blood vessels are most responsive. This is when your muscles are ready to receive nutrients. This is when you interrupt the cycle of decline and start building back. What time has tried to take you might not notice dramatic changes overnight, but stay consistent. Within a few days you may feel more energy in your legs, more warmth in your groin, more strength in your step, and more responsiveness where it matters most. You might sleep better. You might wake up feeling something you haven't felt in a long time. Hope. And if you're worried that this is all too late for you, I can tell you with complete honesty, it's not. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even late 80s transform their energy, their intimacy, and their overall vitality by simply committing to this one thing, starting the day with purpose. So the question is simple: will you take that first step tomorrow morning, or will you let another day go by waiting for something to change on its own? Now that you know exactly what to eat, and when there's just one more thing I want to leave you with, because even the right foods can't work if you're making one critical mistake most older men never even think about. Let's wrap this up with a final message that could make or break your results. 7. Final message: if there's one thing I've learned after decades of working with men over 60, it's that aging doesn't take your strength, it only takes what you're willing to give up. And most of the time what we give up isn't our bodies, it's our belief that change is still possible. But I'm here to remind you it absolutely is. You now know about 5 powerful morning foods: whole eggs, beets, oats with chia, watermelon, and sweet potatoes with Celtic salt that can help restore blood flow, improve sensitivity, support muscle function, and bring life back into parts of your body that may have felt distant for far too long. These are not trends or gimmicks, they're real foods that speak directly to your biology. More than that, you know when and how to eat them to make the biggest difference, and you know that what you choose to do in the first hour of your day is a decision that ripples into every other area of your life: your energy, your independence, your confidence, and your connection with Those you love, you don't need to do it all at once, but do something. Start tomorrow. Take back your mornings. Let your food become your medicine, and let each small choice become a quiet declaration that you are not done, not even close. Your next chapter starts with breakfast, and it starts with you.